Yay. Good morning, Diana.
Hi, Tim.
How are you doing?
I'm lovely and toasty and warm. How are you?
I am enjoying this beautiful, crispy British 1st of December morning. And
Yeah, well, when I finish roasting by my lovely, warm, hot fire, I've got to take the dogs out. We'll go out and
wrap up
freeze
warm because
then.
it's wrap up warm. It's definitely feeling pretty seasonal
Yes,
today. And
yes.
I just very much like to welcome you to week 48 of the Woodland Chronicles, and everybody who's watching will know who my very special guest is this morning. It's the amazing Diana Cooper, who is chosen very wisely her place by the fire this morning.
I have indeed. Yeah, I have
Yeah.
indeed. With one dog here right beside me. Yes.
Yeah, I expect the other one's panting in the lounge, like trying to cool down a little bit.
Actually, she's still in bed.
Yeah, don't blame her. Don't blame her. Yeah, so we've entered now the final month of what has been the most incredible year. It really
Yeah.
has. So it's just words almost fail to describe the expansion and the upgrades and the cosmic happenings that all of us are experiencing on this planet at the moment. And
There's never been anything like it, has there, Tim?
there hasn't.
The,
No, and
the
all the
sudden rise in frequency over the last few weeks has been awesome.
It really has. And I was talking about this in my workshop last night. I did a light integration workshop. And of course, the first topic of conversation was what happened to me, to us, to everybody that linked in on the 22nd of October. Because it was really it took, for me, it took a subject that we talk about and we feel, but has really and truly not had a huge amount of tangible evidence into something that is actually a full-blown reality for every single one of us on this planet.
I agree with you. Yeah.
The what's occurring to us now is now accelerating to the point where it's my analogy is it's a little bit like a couch to 5K runner suddenly signing up for a marathon and having to keep pace with people who are very well trained. That's what it feels like. And you and I are seasoned in this work. We've been doing this for a long time. We know our light, we know our frequencies, we're well adept to this, but we've even had to make some serious adjustments as well. So it's been interesting.
And so many people have been ill because they're pouring light through their cells and having to release old stuff. But I was talking to you before we came on about what happened in the night, and it was 1 o'clock exactly this morning, and Metatron came through. I was in a nice, deep, comfortable sleep, and
you waited
with a message for me, and it's all about what we're just talking about. And so I switched the bedside light on and it went flash. And I had to get out of bed, grope my way to the main light and go and get a new bulb and put it in before I could even tune in for the message. But he said that as soon as he'd come to us and asked us to bring in the light codes of Helios on the 12th of December, because of course the 12th of December is Metatron's day, he's a 12, and 12/12 is a huge power day. But the minute he'd asked us to start bringing those codes in, we started talking about it together and working on it and doing the meditation together and individually. As soon as that happened, the light code started pouring into light workers, to all those who were already ready to receive them. And the aim and purpose of that was that on the 12th of December, people everywhere, every single person would be ready, because the 100th monkey would take place on that day. And you know, the 100th monkey is when suddenly the consciousness shifts and everybody gets it. And so on that day, everyone will be ready to actually accept those codes into their body. And that's just amazing. And of course, in Portugal on the 22nd, you did an amazing job of being the lightning conductor that took in the codes of Helios for the planet, you might well cough at that point, Tim. It was a hugely needed. Yeah. But the thing is,
it was quite an event.
Since then, everybody's been, or light workers have been working with it and doing the meditations and establishing them every day into the Great Pyramid of Hollow Earth. And so they're flowing round, that Helios energy is flowing round the planet. So there will be a big burst on the 12th of December. It'll make a huge difference. I asked, well, what impact will this have on the planet? And I don't know, what do you think about it? Because I know what he told me.
It's very interesting because, again, I was tuning into what December has in store last night. And it was part of the workshop that I presented was an energy report. And of course, we're all reeling from the 11 months that we've experienced here. And December is inevitably the finale, isn't it? It's the month that seals the deal for everything that we've worked towards. And having now anchored these codes in, and all of us are doing this. No, it's not just me and you. All of the light workers that are tuned into this and contracted and working at a very high frequency. I'm very interested about this 100th monkey effect, because this is what we're looking for. It's, you can anchor all of the codes in as often as you want, and you can shine as brightly as you can possibly shine, but it requires a critical mass to have been reached for the effects to take place. And what I'm noticing very clearly is there is a huge pushback from 3D to try and stifle it. It's almost like, I mean, they've been going into panic mode all year, but it looks like they're pulling every single last toy out of the box to try and prevent the consciousness rising, keep people in fear. And it's now what we're riding is an unstoppable wave. So the 100th monkey effect, when this kicks in on the 12th of December, between the 12th of December and the December solstice, that's a critical period of time for all of us. And we're going to be integrating, we're going to be anchoring, we're going to be shining as brightly as possible. So by the time we've walked through the solstice gateway, this coding will have been implemented. It's going to be happening fast. This is what I'm seeing. So by the time we kind of burst into January next year, expecting whatever we're expecting for 2024, we're going to be, it's almost like the information I get is we're locked and loaded, we're ready to go, and so is everybody else. We've now reached a point where the light quotient of souls on this planet far outweighs the density, which is where we needed to be, and that's the thing that's going to make the difference.
And the codes of Helios contain a very powerful masculine energy. So it's the, as you know, it's the true masculine, the wonderful masculine qualities. That's what are being brought in for the first time. And what's going to happen is that the leaders, and this isn't just the world leaders, it's sort of, the leaders of little communities, the leaders of committees and all of this sort of thing, they're all going to find themselves out of sync with the mass consciousness unless they make the shift. So they're either going to shift with the energy, and then they're going to be ineffectual because they'll be out of touch. And so there's going to be huge changes in leadership in the Western world very soon, and in the rest of the world in 2024. So there's going to be a lot of change at the top. And as soon as that change takes place, of course, then everything else is unplugged in a way. It's going to be massive. But it's quite interesting, because on the 22nd of December, when we were in Portugal, we made the 3 petitions to the Intergalactic Council.
I remember.
And before that, Source had told me that we had to make those particular 3 in that order. And now I'm told, no. So about 2 weeks ago, they said, okay, the one about leadership, don't do and that's all done, sealed, received, and activated.
Yeah.
Now you need to, now they're asking for, it's quite interesting for everybody really, they're asking for everybody to petition for the balance of masculine and feminine energy on the planet to be fully brought in. So that means that between man and woman, male and female, whatever way you like to put it, that trust, love and respect is restored between them. And Mary Magdalene on the Intergalactic Council has taken that petition, and I've been going every day and making that petition as always, and she's taking it and really starting to work with it to a much greater degree than before, because
That's
it's
incredibly important. That's such good news. And if I've always wondered this, you've made such an important point there, Diana, because we live in this world where we are awake and we are witnessing what is occurring. We're part of the change. We're initializing and anchoring the change, but we have this formidable opposition in the power structures that have sustained the third dimension for so long. It's been in place since the fall of Atlantis, and we've in our own way
described 10,000 years, Tim.
Oh yeah, I mean they've had plenty of time to get everything set up to suit them. But what happens when eventually these people, these souls, that in however we regard them, I've always described them as actors. You know, they took on this acting role. At some point, they have to come back to the light. They have to wake up. How long can a soul holding that third dimensional frequency sustain that level of consciousness when the planet around them has risen exponentially? It's not going to last for an awful lot longer. And like you say, I think it can't be. It must be getting so uncomfortable. It's like it's like being water trying not to boil when you're on a hob. You're having the heat, you're having the pressure applied to you. And so naturally you have to evolve consciousness. That's a big change, a big step. When the leaders, I'm not saying if, I'm saying when the leadership structures on this planet begin to disintegrate because they're waking up as well. So this is exactly what we're looking for.
And then everybody's going to start having their leadership meetings, if you like to call it that. Instead of saying, what can I get out of it? It's what's for the highest good.
Yeah, what are we going to do?
That change takes place, there's a huge change.
Marvelous.
And you know, we vote the leaders in. Well, the best will in the world, we really can't blame them. We choose them, we ask them to do it. The moment the general consciousness shifts, in other words, that 100th monkey takes place, the critical mass, then we don't vote in those leaders. We vote in, we're still doing a voting system, those that are ready, that have integrity and honor and the vision of the golden future. And it's not a very big shift, because the other thing that's coming in, of course, is the moon getting stronger.
Yeah.
And this is taking
I think we're all noticing that one as well, the last one.
Yeah. So the divine feminine energy is coming in at the same time, and this is helping to bring in the balance, you know, working with the codes of Lyra and the codes of Helios, and of course Andromeda as well, the higher heart. That triangle is really, really shifting the planet now. And
it really is.
Lots of people are doing this, but every day I bring those three energies down into Hollow Earth, into the Great Pyramid, and watch them going around the ley lines of the planet. And this is taking place more and more quickly now. You can literally feel that energy shifting.
You can. And as he was speaking, this little white feather floated down from the tree onto the table. Literally. And there's not many pigeons about today. So thank you, angels, for the confirmation.
Yeah, that's interesting. Do you remember that time when you very first came to me and we sat on my lawn under a tree and all these white feathers fell down?
Didn't you walk around the garden afterwards and count over 400? I think it was
almost
incredible.
Unbelievable.
It was like, if I think about it now, it's like watching something that happened in a fever dream or a movie, but it was so incredibly beautiful that evening, and I'll never forget that. And thank you for reminding me about it the other day, because it really was that was the sign I needed that things were going in the right direction, regardless of how hard they were at the time. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Love
no,
the
the
feathers.
angels really are amazing. I have to say, there's one more thing about this Helios energy that Metatron mentioned last night.
Yeah.
And that was a reminder that it lights up your inner sun. And so
Yes.
many people, inner sun, have gone out. And so
Yeah.
it's going to bring in a happier feeling when people glow from inside. And of course, as more and more people feel happier and more positive, they're going to attract more positive things into them.
Well,
So,
that's such a beautiful point, because I've been thinking I mean, we're doing this job. We're working with the angels, the unicorns, the galactics, all of these incredible ascended masters. But most of us have been downright miserable for years because it's been such an intensive shift. It really is time that we just stepped back into, I'm happy. You know what I mean? Like, I know you're supposed to make your own happiness on this planet, and it's part of an initiation, and it's one of the biggest lessons. But we really do deserve a break now. I think after all of the work that we've done, that inner sun shining through is going to be an amazing step forward. So I'm looking forward to that.
Can I just share something then?
Please do.
I was gifted a reading with David Hands about September last year, and he said on this week, and it was the week before I went into and the start of when I was in hospital having an operation. He said, your inner sun is going to be glowing. And I thought, what on earth could he possibly mean?
I know.
And in that week, I felt this internal, indescribable joy. Remember my ex-son-in-law coming into the house saying, you're going into hospital tomorrow, and yet there's this feeling of joy everywhere in your house. I said, I can't describe it. It's this inner sun. And
I love it.
It was awesome, Tim. I keep thinking about that and thinking, I must get that back again. And that's what the Codes of Helios are aiming to do for us all. Bring us back into our inner glow, our inner happiness.
It's at the end of the day, I cannot foresee a future in the fifth dimension where we're all shuffling around miserable, moaning about our aching light bodies.
Joy is one of the big things. That's what we all need to look for.
Oh, I love it. Thank you.
Not just fun and things, but inner life is wonderful and amazing, and I'm happy and glowing that happiness. Like when somebody's in love.
Yeah.
And nothing bothers you in those moments.
No,
and
it doesn't.
You see the best in others. You see the best in the person you're in love with. And that's reality. That's divine reality. It's when you fall out of love that you're actually falling into non-reality again.
Oh, it's so true. It's so true. It's almost like that perpetual dopamine hit where everything is just filled with sunshine. And as you speak those words, the sun hits me from the left. It's
I can see a blue sky out of my window.
Yeah, look, it's highlighting the mist that's coming from my mouth with the freezing cold.
I'm not wishing to swap places with you, Tim, not in any way.
It's actually it's good out. I mean, this spot has served me well over the last 3 years or so. It's I've even got a nice little picnic table and everything, which my camera's sat on. So I'm quite well set up down here. It's just not very warm.
I can almost imagine daffodils behind you.
There will be soon. There will be soon.
Yeah,
there won't be long.
Absolutely.
Bring in their beautiful sunshine yellow. I love that time of year. That's
I love
that's a good dopamine hit. That is when they come around.
Look, this is another thing that's a lot of things have changed since the Portugal event that we did on 22nd of October, and 5 masters stepped in to be with us on that day.
Yeah.
And so, every day I've called them in. Sometimes I've asked them to come into my body, work with me. So that was Saint Germain, Merlin, of course, bringing our powers back. And that reminds me that the Codes of Helios, when we bring them through on the 12-12 into each of the chakras, they really empower those chakras. For example, in your third eye, they start to bring back your powers at a higher level. And I
do.
mean, that's amazing. And that's time now. And so there's Merlin, then there's Paul the Venetian, Lord Vuslu, and Elmoira. Well, every day I was calling on Lord Vuslu, and he was putting his yellow flame into my heart, which is the flame of happiness, of course, as well as other things. And it started to get smaller and smaller. In the end, I said to him, Lord Vuslu, are you wanting to withdraw?
Yeah.
And he said, yes, somebody else is waiting to come in.
Wow.
And
okay.
I presume this is for everybody, but it was Commander Ashtar that came in.
Oh, how fantastic.
I know. So now I'm working with Commander Ashtar, and anybody else who this resonates with can do the same thing when they do that meditation.
I'm finding it incredible how prominent Commander Ashtar has been in his role recently with this. It's Commander Ashtar took a promotion in 2021. He stepped from he's above the rank. I mean, as the name depicts, he's spiritual military, so he now holds a higher rank than he did previously.
You told me he was now the Grand Commander.
That's it, like the it's about as commandery as you can possibly get. So he's really becoming hands-on with our ascension process, and it's lovely because I'm speaking to people that have been saying to me, "Oh, all of a sudden, I've got Commander Ashtar in my fields, working with me, guiding with me." He used to come and go a lot with kind of like whatever the galactic missions were dictating to him. He had to be there. So sometimes he'd be here, sometimes he wasn't. But what I'm seeing and feeling now is that his presence is permanent until this job is done. So we can all look forward to connecting. So
yeah, we're all moving more into galactic energy and bringing in those codes now, and he's helping that process, which is just fabulous.
It is. It's such a treat to be connecting to these souls and actually finding out that at the end of the day, we've incarnated into these physical bodies, but we are remembering who we truly are, and that is masters, cosmic masters and we've come from far higher places in far away vibrations, and we're all just kind of staggering around, waking up, remembering who we are, gathering all of our spiritual gifts, and acknowledging all of this incredible coding that's coming in, because this year has just been so amazing. It really has.
Well, I don't know if you're the same, but as I find out more and more about who I truly am, I go, no, really?
The list grows longer and longer, doesn't it? It's well, I don't think you would have had a position as prominent and as hands-on as yours without that kind of backing in the first place. It's you've had an incredibly important mission, Diana. So
we have gone through long training processes,
much training. Yeah, definitely.
And so has everybody that's watching this.
Absolutely. Well, this is it. It's to begin with, there was just a few of us kind of scattered around the globe, and then all of a sudden this huge, just think of how far we've come in 10 years, how many souls have woken up and realized who they truly are, what they're doing, how critical they are for the forward movement of this ascension process, and how we're all working together. It's this is the thing that really makes my heart smile the most, is just how unified we all truly are. It's beautiful.
It is awesome. And I think back like 40 years, how powerless I felt. And
alone.
now, well, alone and powerless. And I mean, that's just not the case now.
No,
we can change every single situation by shifting our frequency.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So we will be getting together on the 12th of the 12th, won't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Because we have got an awesome meditation to do to bring in the codes of Helios.
Power hour.
Remember, it is an absolute power hour. And they are powerful, and everybody that does it will end up in a different frequency band.
Absolutely. So Diana and I would love to invite all of you listening to join us on the 12th of the 12th for the power hour to receive the codes of Helios and jumpstart this process moving into the 100th monkey effect, to finish this year in the highest frequency possible, because this is what December is all about. How far, how high can we raise our frequency, our vibration and our light, and move into the next year in such a radiant position that it becomes second nature to do the work that we're doing, and we smile from inside and out, and this entire flow becomes so much easier. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Absolutely. Lovely to chat to you, Tim. Let's glow forward.
Oh, thank you, Diana, and thank you for joining me this morning. It's been an absolute honor, it really has, and I'll look forward to coming over and getting warm and doing this work with you on the 12th of the 12th.
Okay.
So sending you and everybody else lots of love, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now. Bye.